Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me here today on this live podcast on, I think, a very unique and interesting subject. It has me real excited about speaking on this subject because mostly I'm always speaking on the same subjects for years, if not decades, it seems, about how to improve your health. But this one, I think, is more of an eye opener, I hope, and maybe help a lot of people to get on the path to improving their health uh, without even having to do anything but change your mindset. So, with that introduction, the name of this webinar is Waking Up to the Health Revolution. So, we're going to talk about what is this health revolution. Of course, it's defined by myself. Now, many people know what I'm talking about when I bring this subject up with my patients. But we're going to cover in greater detail of what this really is and what's taking place and how it's moving along and how it's progressing. And then we'll talk about what it is that helps people to see this, the kind of the waking up that takes place that helps people to, discover and get on board this health revolution. And then, of course, third, I'm going to talk about, well, what does it really mean to be, a part of this health revolution? And we notice even our politicians are starting to talk about, a new way of approaching healthcare. And I wanted to thank our sponsor, herbalteas.com, who gave me this nice cup, herbalteas.com cup. And we're drinking today Chill Out tea. Just so you know, it's got rose petals in it. See the rose petals on the top? And the lavender. Just so you know, you should really never make tea with a tea bag. You should just throw in the tea, put in the hot water. It steeps much better. And that is the tea. Chill Out tea. Herman teas. Okay. So I'm chilled out. I'm relaxed. I'm feeling really good about this subject. So the health revolution. Basically, it's going on in our society. It's going on mostly in Western society, including Europe. I have patients all around the world, not a lot in Europe, but enough that I get information, and a lot in Canada. But I get a lot of people from other countries. They just do their appointment in the United States. So I have information about what's happening in different countries. And of course, I'm shipping products all over the country, over the world too. So I can see where the restrictions are, where the restrictions weren't, and what's been changing over the years, people's reception to herbal remedies, people's reception to, natural treatments, people's kind of less interest in just going to the medical doctor for all their health conditions, people's greater confidence in taking natural treatments, whether that's just vitamins or supplements or massage or exercise. They have greater faith in these as resolving and preventing their health conditions than they ever did in the past. I mean, it's increasing at a brisk pace. And the funny thing is that a pandemic, I forgot the name, but when we had it, after that, people really woke up to the health revolution. People jumped on board during that period. It's like the train got swamped with people when nobody really was aware, at least in mainstream, of this revolution taking place. And those people who were living on, natural health care and taking herbs daily as a part of their life and not running to the medical establishment for every cold and flu and a birth of child. And they were doing things on their own. Well, those people were kind of marginalized in the past, but now many of them are teachers, and many of them are more recognized, and many of them have been, I don't want to use the word vindicated, but it's been shown that a lot of what I've been saying for 30 years is right. Is vindicated the right word? But so what we're talking about here is a new way of looking at your health. See, what is the old model? What is the old model? At least in Western society, because there's really two old models. In Western society, maybe for our parents, the old model was, you just go do your checkups every so many months to the doctor. You take all the meds, whatever he says, and you don't worry too much about the diet unless the doctor tells you you're diabetic and you can't have your soda pop, or you've got, alcoholic liver and you got to cut back on your liver, or, obese, so you got to cut back on the fast food. I mean, besides those general guidelines, we weren't getting or believing even that food made a big difference in our health. And that's what the medical community has been saying for decades, that food doesn't really make any difference. Just take your medicine. I think people have really moved past that. So that's the old paradigm, but that was only in the Western world. If you take somebody from the third world or even developing country, Mexico, for example, and you ask what their grandparents did or even their mother, well, they only were doing herbals, and they're still only doing herbal medicine. I get a lot of patients whose grandmothers in their 80s and their 90s has never taken any meds, and the person doing the appointment is the 40, 50, 60-year-old daughter who's got all the health problems, who's lived most of her life in the United States. But grandma, she kept her old habits of cooking food every day and taking care of herself, walking to the store and staying active and staying off the internet. And now she's fine. She's in her 80s or 90s, cooking her same old beans and rice. She's not following social media. She's not doing crazy fad diets. She's not doing smoothies. She's not doing mushrooms. I mean, she's just cooking those beans and eating apples sometimes and walking miles every day to the store and picking up fresh vegetables. So that is the old paradigm for the whole world, really. It was only a little bleep in time where everybody got convinced that Western medicine was the cure-all. Because if we look back over 100 years before there was much pharmaceutical medication at all, everybody was taking herbs. And if you keep going back, I mean, they were always taking herbs. I mean, Europeans had their herbal remedies. Western and Native Americans had their herbal remedies. Everybody had herbal remedies. I mean, there were different systems: the Indian system, the Chinese system, the Tibetan system, the shaman system. There were so many systems, but that was been going on for thousands of years. So this little period where people were just like, oh my God, the only cure is medicine, kind of came after World War II. We know the Nazis themselves were way ahead in pharmaceutical development, and we inherited a lot of that knowledge, information on using pharmaceutical drugs from them, and we've developed ever since. But now so this revolution, in a sense, isn't a revolution at all. It's going back to what we were doing before, and or at least an integration of the two systems. All systems of healthcare have value, whether it's Chinese system, massage, chiropractic, medical, surgery, herbal. They all have value. It's the integration and working with them together, not disowning or discrediting another system. Don't get me wrong, we're not discrediting the value of the medical system, emergency care, surgeries, and other types of acute health issues and life-saving surgeries, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's a wonderful that we have that, but it should be somewhat of a backup, I would say, or the last resort. Should be a surgery. It should be an absolute last resort. But unfortunately, people don't understand the side effects of having their gallbladder removed, their uterus removed, or even just having a simple surgery or doing a C-section. They don't really know about these, long-term adverse effects until they have them, because I think the information is, for lack of a better word, censored, or it's not readily available. But people sure don't seem to be aware of the risk of, a lot of just even medical tests, colonoscopy and mammograms, to say the least. So I'm not saying they don't have value, but you have to understand that this really should be more of a last resort. This is the backup. That's the integration of these different healthcare systems. But the first part of a healthcare system should be you being preventive. So we know that this health revolution is an integration of all the healthcare systems, and not just what maybe our parents did or we did, running to the doctor for every health problem. And it's accepting that there's other healthcare systems that's working. It's accepting that, diet has a big factor. And, if you drink and party, it's going to have an impact on you. And we also kind of realize that we've been kind of in the dark. I think that's part of the waking up, is the fact that waking up to the fact that we've been duped for 30, 40 years, or maybe suckered or tricked into, I don't know what the right word is, conditioned to believe, brainwashed. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's definitely, we look back now and many people see that the information has been censored or limited, and people, as information is taken down only to the reality is these people are helping people, or different cures are demonized. And this has been going on and it's still going on, but the genie's out of the bottle at this point. People have woken up, and that's, what my whole profession is these people after they've woken up. I'm not waking people up. I mean, they're already waking up and then they're coming to me. And sometimes many of them have heard about me for 2, 3, 4 years before they actually do the appointment. So you can't just know about somebody or a treatment that works. You have to kind of wake up and have take the step. You can't make a horse drink the water, and you have to take these steps forward. And then you find that it is more than just going to get your annual checkup and taking your meds on time. That to really take care of your health and to join the health revolution, these would be my guidelines. First, accept that only you are responsible for your health. Not the doctor, not an herbalist, and not social media health care, and not some special mushroom or goji berry or honey or one thing or turmeric or moringa is going to transform your whole health. Or these expensive supplements you see a lot. They're always called nutraceuticals or names like that, and based on new research. Those are the real suckers, because if you look at their ingredients, it's usually they're combining a lot of times just regular vitamins, synthetic vitamins, and they often throw in extracts of herbs, so they're combined together. That's kind of where we're at if we want to get it touched. There's an opening up, but still everything is in capsule. They want to use little extracts. They overpromise, and you see still a heavy dependence on nutritional approaches, believing that nutrition is still the big natural cure, when nutrition really is more preventive and helpful. But all these health conditions that I'm treating, I could just have a person stop all their supplements. And usually I don't get back to putting them back on all their supplements until after their arthritis is gone, their high blood pressure is gone, and things like that. I don't really need them to reverse a condition. And there's still a big misbelief that, I just got to take these expensive vitamins, or cheap vitamins, even worse. And these are all synthetic. So that's a whole nother subject. I spoke on that. And you should watch my podcast on that subject, taking whole food supplements over synthetic supplements. Big subject. And also part of being on the health revolution is not just saying, I can take a bunch of vitamins, but taking food-based ones, taking quality ones, and getting more and more of your nutrients from your food, and not just relying on throwing everything in a smoothie, for example, and cooking your own food, eating your own food, buying 100% organic, or even better, getting it from farmers markets. It's really a holistic approach, this health revolution. And my clients, they get it over time, and everybody's at a different stage. Most of my patients, they've already got rid of the really bad habits, the smoking and the drinking and the drugs. They may still be on medication, but mostly they're past that, and they're at least starting to eat good, or many of them are at least in their minds eating good. They're not going out anymore and just going to restaurants and fast food. They're past that by the time they come to me. And a lot of them are now into the supplements, the vitamins, and a lot of supplements. That's pretty much where they're at. So, but these supplements seem to help in certain ways, but they still got these major health issues aren't going away. And that's where they have to learn about the most important part of treating a health condition is herbal remedies. And herbs really, and I got this from my mother and some other patients who it kind of a bell went off. And I hope that by watching this, some kind of bell goes off in your head, particularly if you're already my patient and I given you teas for this, teas for that, herbs for sleep, herbs to poop, herbs after meals, herbs before meals, and you've got all these herbs in your counter. And once after you, at first it feels overwhelming, but then once you start doing it, you feel the benefits and the problems are going away. And when you forget to take it, you don't sleep as well. When you forget to take it, you don't digest as well, et cetera, et cetera. So you start to, really do these on a regular basis and not just sit around waiting for a next major health problem before you start calling to take herbs again. But you're proactively doing this. This is a key word, proactive. You're doing maintenance. And I think a lot of my clients really aren't getting there on that. I say a small percentage. Most of them are pretty happy if you get rid of their arthritis, get their high blood pressure under control, or you help get rid of the hot flashes or get rid of their nerve pain, their neuropathy. They're very happy. They give me a nice testimonial, but they often don't continue. They may continue. I better keep taking some hard herbs, art tea, because, already almost died from a stroke. So I better be. So they may still keep taking these even after, their numbers are better. But they may not deal with other health issues. They may not really be, they want to be kind of off the herbs in their mind when really they probably should be taking these herbs to some degree for the rest of your life. I mean, once you have a health problem, one major life-threatening health problem, or even if it's not life-threatening, but quite like a psoriasis or eczema, it sure was discomforting. And for pain, maybe it didn't kill you, but it sure, all that constant pain affected your life. So, a lot of times you just got to keep taking these herbs forever. What I'm getting at is it has to be really more of a way of life. I think that's the point I wanted to say, that if you really want to not have to go to the doctor, and I haven't been for 45 years, and now, raise children without taking them to the doctor. So it's completely feasible. And there's plenty of people living in the world who don't have access to medical health care and are living a rural life. Not alone just the Amish and other groups around the world are living just using natural means and herbs and living longer lives than those people living, of course, in the city, stressing out, taking meds to keep functioning. So, it's not like it's really, revolution may not even be the right word, as my son calls it, the old revolution. So it's like something that's old that people are waking up to. And he, of course, he's young. So that's the way he sees it, is that it's been in existence, this ancient way of healthcare. And now we're kind of waking up to what it is. And again, that means you taking your supplements, taking your herbs on a regular basis, not cutting corners and not going out and, eating the junk food, and just having these standards. I would say it's a standard. I mean, we all have moral standards, what we're not willing to do and not willing to say, like not lie, not cheat, for example. But we should have the same standards when it comes to eating, that we're just never going to eat in a fast food restaurant. That's one of my personal ones. I'd rather starve, go to a corner store and get some bottled water and just drink that all day long if I only have choices of fast food restaurants, and keep driving, for example, or take my own food so I'm not in that predicament. So you've got to have that, that standard. You're just never going to eat in a fast food restaurant. And two, it doesn't mean you don't go out to dinner. I mean, some people, like my mother, she just won't go out to dinner and eat out. I'm a little more, I'm in a different place, so I'll go out to dinner sometimes. But the rest, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, just prepare my own food. And again, that goes for organic. I buy only when I go shopping, 100% organic. But of course, again, if I'm going out to eat, it's not always organic. But I like to go to eat in health food restaurants, health food stores where I could get organic food, at least when I go out. And I think there's going to be more and more of it. I think the organic movement is part of this health revolution. I mean, people just didn't realize how much chemicals and poison and toxins are in their food. And I always tell people, you see the organic label, you should just translate it in this to your mind. You should just say not full of cancer-causing chemicals and preservatives that are going to lead to further liver toxicity, kidney problems, and possibly even cancer. That's what it should say on the organic. It doesn't have the chemicals known to create health problems and even get cancer. That's what it should say. And the ones that are not organic should say packed with chemicals and pesticides that will definitely damage your kidney and your liver and possibly lead to cancer if you've overconsumed them. That's what the true labels should say. And that's the way you should see it. And of course, going to local farms are even better. And co-ops. I'm in a farm co-op. And of course, it means getting rid of all your bad habits, like, drinking alcohol. I don't think that many people are still smoking cigarettes, but it took a long time to get people to stop smoking cigarettes. And I don't believe there should be laws. Obviously, prohibition didn't work, but there's nothing more destructive and harmful for our whole society than alcohol. It's damaging not just the liver cells, the brain cells, and it's there's just too much negativity and going on with alcohol, and just the state of mind it leaves you. So you have to come to that conclusion. You're never going to drink alcohol. Okay, you may sip somebody's wine to taste it, but maybe you have your standard there. Maybe on your birthday you have a glass or something. But for someone like myself, I'm attracted to it anyway. Just like sweets or cookies or candy or cakes, I'm just not attracted to it. Now, okay, you get me in Turkey with the pastries or France with the patisserie. Okay, I'm going to indulge, but not for very long, and maybe just a day or two. If I'm, but you got to have that standard to get off quick and not be hooked. And then you should be taking your vitamins. You should be taking healthy vitamins, and then you need to take herbal medicine as part of your life, and see it to conclude and to round things up. What is this lifestyle and what is this health revolution? It's self-care. That's the revolution. You're counting on yourself by being proactive and doing all of these things of walking and exercising and not listening to social media healthcare and being suckered and just cooking your own foods and living a simple life and taking good care of yourself and trying to add other nutrients and treating all your little health issues, as small as they are, with different herbal remedies you research yourself or go to somebody else for, or get on herbmanteas.com. That's what herbmanteas.com is about, providing quality herbal remedies for all different variations of even a single condition. So that is why I'm seeing this take place, because I'm talking to these people that were my clients. Now they're just buying everything off of Herb Teas for sleeping, relaxing, and they're now telling me, oh, I haven't been a doctor for 2 years. I haven't been a doctor for 3 years. I haven't been a doctor for 4 years. I go, wow, this is like an old hippie thing before, not to go to doctors. Now we're talking people in the South, the Midwest, all over the country are like, proud that they're not on medication, proud that they're not having to go to the doctor, or they just go and get the blood work and, there's no big issues. Or if they have little issues, they're confident between themselves and me and my products that they're going to resolve it. These people are in this health revolution. They have woken up, and I hope you have too. And I hope this webinar helped you to wake up and be more positive about your health, because we can see there's a lot of people stuck in the old system. And once you're stuck in there on 7 or 8 meds, then, you may never get out. I mean, I've seen people do it. I've seen people lose 150 pounds, get off 10 medicine. But once you're kind of too ingrained in the whole system and lost in that type of care, and you've just got all these bad habits you can't put stop to for whatever reason, then it's hard to get out. And I'm sure each of you know people who are trapped in that state and continuing to do the same bad habits that made the condition that they have manifest and not get better, and create an over dependence on medication where they need more and more and more medication, and then more surgeries, which takes more medication. And so they're lost in that paradigm of medical care, and they're dependent now on outside people keeping them alive, which is good. It's keeping them alive. At the point, the medication is probably keeping them alive. They can't stop. That's not where you want to go. You have to, and counting on somebody else solving all your health problems is the beginning of that slippery slope. Starting with, okay, I'm going to be proactive and take care of my health, get rid of all these bad habits, exercise some discipline, and work with other professionals. Like my mother says, everybody, elderly person for sure should be going to a chiropractor. I agree. Almost every person could be taking nutritional supplements for something. So, and everybody could get rid of all these obvious bad habits that we have. So then you would be, onboarding onto the health revolution. So welcome to the health revolution. I hope I'm in one of the major leaders in this new revolution. And I look forward to you joining me, and I look forward to supporting you in this journey of having good health and happiness and living to more than 100. God bless you all. Thank you very much.